Hey beauties, welcome back to the Real Girl Talk podcast radio show. I am your host, Sherry Ricard. I am a medical professional, business leader, author, speaker, and adversity recovery specialist, bringing you incredible guests, Friday Fire messages, sharing business, beauty, and lifestyle tips to help you create an abundant life, and always committed to keeping it real. Now let's dive in. Welcome back to the show, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you love Real Girl Talk, will you just show the love and share it with a friend? You can put it on your social media, take a little screenshot of the podcast, make sure you tag me, Real Girl Talk Podcast, or you can just send it to a friend via text or email. I'll take it any way I can get it. Just share the love. My guest today is Cofer. She is a classically trained dancer, performance artist, and choreographer. Robin is a real live ballerina based in New York City. She is full of female empowerment. She loves the Lord, and she is such a blessing coming on the show. If she is not on stage performing, she's being cast in films, and she's going to be opening her own showroom where she is going to be displaying her beautiful, unique vintage headpieces. She's so talented, and I am so grateful to have her here today. Hello, Miss Robin. How are you?
Well, hello, beautiful. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
You're so elegant and just so angelic, you know? So we'll tell everybody how we know each other. So I was so blessed to meet Robin at our mutual friend's home in Southamptons this summer. Elise Slane is just wonderful, love her to death, invited my husband and I, so gracious. I mean, her and her husband, Reinhold, are amazing. And she had a dinner party one night while I was there, and Robin and her husband, along with other guests, were invited. And I was just mesmerized by her. And I will tell you, this is a real life, ladies. Like, I'm talking, you know how when you were 3 years old and you wanted to be a ballerina when you grew up? Well, she is a real live ballerina Barbie doll. She is just amazing, absolutely amazing, and so spirit filled. And we had wonderful conversation. And I knew that she had to come on Real Girl Talk and talk to you ladies, because she's just full of so much love, and she has her own business, and she's going to tell us what she does and how she began this journey. And I'm just going to give you the floor, because just when you speak, I just want to listen. I want to hang on to every word that you say. So you just tell everybody. I want you to start on your journey. I know you started very young studying ballet. So tell us from when you were young and how you became a professional ballerina dancing all over the world.
Well, firstly, I'm so happy to be here. I'm in seventh heaven, eighth heaven, some kind of heaven. It's so wonderful to see your face again. So you know, it just occurred to me a few days ago when I was thinking about seeing you today, that my first ballet class was in a church.
Really?
Yes. It had been a church, and they converted into the ballet school. And it was quite obviously a church, you know, it's not like they dismantled it, you know, completely. So I hadn't consciously really focused on that. So I'm thinking, wow, okay, I feel triply blessed. So I was my very, very first, which kind of sort of doesn't count, class, I was 4 years old. But you're 4 years old, I mean, you're barely, know anything what you're doing. But my first real class, I was 8 years old. And my first trainer was from the Ballet Russe. She was the last baby ballerina to be taken in, one of the most famous companies ever to have existed. So I was incredibly lucky that she decided to marry a Cornell professor and moved to Ithaca, New York, where I was brought up. So I had excellent training from the very beginning. Very lucky. Ithaca's a small town.
Right.
And so she handpicked me when she began a new school and brought me over there. I was able to start performing at a very, my first real performance, I was actually paid at 13 years old. So,
wow.
And I auditioned for New York City Ballet School, SAB at 13, and I was accepted for the summer program, which that's a game changer,
Mm,
even psychologically and self-esteem,
right.
confidence, because it's arguably one of the most difficult schools to get into in the
Mm,
world. And so, and the summer before, I had spent in New York training with the ABT school. So when I crossed the George Washington Bridge for the first time, I knew, I said, okay, I'm gonna live here.
oh, wow.
It was a very conscious, very significant moment for me. I didn't have any doubt. Look back, I'm like, wow, that's pretty confident for a 12-year-old.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, when you have a dream instilled in your heart and you just pursued it. I mean,
Yeah,
to
I
get
knew.
where you are today, you had to really train hard at a young age.
Yeah, it takes tremendous discipline and focus, and to stick with it. And it's physically painful, it's psychologically painful, it's emotionally painful, but it's also joyous. So it's extreme in every sense. And so either you're up for it or you're not. Like, I'm feeling like either you have that grit. I mean, my father was a tremendously strong person and taught us discipline and focus and to specialize. I give him, tremendous credit.
Mm,
That's who I am today because of him. Yeah, so I kept at it and was there every summer training. And I decided to graduate high school early, just smash my junior and senior year together, moved to New York at 16, and I got a contract and I performed. And yeah,
wow.
it was a little young. Uh, but I and then pretty early on, I said, I need, after a year, everyone was much, much older than I. So in the company, I said,
Yeah.
I have to go to college. I just have to.
Mm,
And SUNY Purchase had, well, it was considered the best dance department in the country at that point. They gave me a merit scholarship,
mm.
accepted it. I went, even though there was a fork in the road and I had been cast in an important play, and the director was from Yale. She wanted me to go to Yale drama. We all have these forks, right? I was like,
Right.
oh, Yale, but I'm a dancer. That's my soul, it's my heart. So that's the road I took.
So you actually you had the opportunity to go to college and you decided to just continue dancing.
I did both because they had such a good dance department. I was able
Mm,
to dance, keep my trainers in New York, commute back and forth, go to college. SUNY Purchase had their dance department there, have a double major in poli sci and dance, perform there, perform in New York. Sounds a little maybe too much, but it worked for me somehow.
yeah, it did work for you. That is incredible. So how do you go from that, you're young and you're in incredible shape? I mean, you've done this for, so how long have you been doing this now, Robin?
Well, I mean, now it's a million years because, if you start at that age. So it's really not kind of, it is shocking that I can still dance and perform. I was just today asked to perform in November in New York. So yay.
When
Super
in
happy about that.
November? When in
I'm
November?
not sure yet. They didn't give me the date, but you better be there.
My birthday's the 12th.
Mine's the 6th.
That's
So
right. I think we talked
yes,
about that.
we did. We did. We touched on that.
Oh, wouldn't that be something if it's around my birthday?
It sure would. That sure would. Yes.
Oh, man, that would be
Yeah.
so awesome. So, okay, keep going because I'm so into your story. So, you went through college and you danced, and then at what point did you take that I don't know if it's a leap or it was just bound to happen from you're in plays in New York to you're all over the world and
Oh,
you're
well,
performing
yeah.
for kings and queens and all this crazy stuff that nobody can even fathom that had a dream as a ballerina and didn't pursue it. So at what point did you go from college to, I know
So
you spent a lot of time in New York dancing.
there was a lot of in between there, right? Because there were
Right.
severe injuries where I had to stop for years. At one point, I stopped 8 years. I didn't dance. 8 years.
Wow.
That's a lot of years. Maybe I took classes. Maybe sometime I didn't take class for 3 years. I was in a car accident. Um, but then I eased my way back in. I was in a contemporary company, which was very dada, which absurdist,
Yeah.
a lot of acting, if you will, very performance art based. Amazing. We performed at MoMA, we performed PS1, we performed at a theater on Broadway, a dance theater workshop. It was an amazing experience.
Wow.
So that was in there in the mix. But I took a lot of years off and I started a business back when no one was talking about yoga, that's for sure. We're talking close
Mm,
to 20 years ago. And I had a studio and I taught at Reebok and I taught at Equinox and I had private clients and they did
wow.
take me on their planes, various places. It was an exceptional
Nice.
situation and experience because I was really on the vanguard. People were like, yoga, this was,
Right.
it's not like today.
Right.
It was,
Right.
so starting from nothing and building a business such as I did. And I owned a studio on East 61st Street in New York. And if you know New York, that's not nothing.
Right.
Um,
Oh, it's not
yeah,
nothing.
we're talking 12-hour days, maybe more. And I'm really proud of that, I have to say. And that's why I'm so adamant about supporting female entrepreneurs and,
Yes.
in every shape and form. It's so empowering. I mean, talk about elevating who doesn't want more self-confidence, more
Right.
self-esteem? We all need, every drop we can get. Life is hard. About 6 years ago, I said, I think that chapter it's just finished. It's done. Throughout this entire time, since my 20s, I've been designing headgear, as I like to say, but headbands, tiaras, and I started out making them for brides, weaving with wire, semi-precious and precious stones. And I had a heck of a time doing it. It was just, I mean, to see their looks on their faces and to
Oh, I know. And
customize
they're
them.
beautiful because you had one on the night that I met you, and then you
Oh,
have one
good.
on today.
I did. I wore my very prissy ballerina one, all these vintage pins. I just couldn't resist.
I know.
Um,
So tell us about that. Let's just kind of segue into your business. So you've gone all over the world and you're just an incredible ballerina and still incredible shape and you're still dancing. Tell us how that transitioned into you are a women's empowerment supporter and advocate and also into your business and tell us a little bit about your business.
sure. Yeah. I've formalized it in the last year or so, and even more recently. And it's Crown by Robin Cofer. I source vintage and antique pieces around the world. I've always been doing this. I've always been repurposing and upscaling and uh, reinventing pieces before it was trendy to be,
Right,
environmentally conscious. I just
right.
thought it was a good thing and a good concept, and I latched onto it. So this upcycling thing I've been doing since literally I was 17 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and they come in all different genres, and they're one of a kind. And I'm commissioned. It's like you commission an artist, for a painting, or you commission them for a headpiece. And I just, even women who don't, they go, oh, it's not really, I don't wear hats or I don't wear anything on
Mm.
my head. They just yesterday, I was with two lovelies and they're looking at them. They're like, ooh, and they couldn't resist. And they start to put them on. They looked amazing. I mean, they've never worn a headband in their life. There's something, it frames your face. Not only does it frame it,
Mhm.
it does lift it. I mean, the eyes lift.
Does.
It's a whole beauty thing. I mean, I'm all into every woman should be as beautiful as possible. Why not enhance? I'm all,
Right,
you know.
right,
And so, and it is true luxury because there's a real conversation in the luxury space now. It's been
right,
ongoing. I'm sure you're aware of it. What is true
right,
luxury?
right,
Well, it's not just what you can buy, and having access. It's really having a uniqueness.
right,
What is truly unique,
right,
and one of a kind. And so even the most luxury brands now, you're paying, many thousands of dollars for a
right,
piece. And it's not handmade. Mine are
right.
handmade and stitched. I mean, I'm like sewing.
Now, do you make multiples of one, or is one headpiece
No,
unique? That's it.
see, that's it. You will
That's
never
it.
see another woman with that headpiece on.
Wow.
I mean,
And that's rare. Usually
you
you can
know,
say, wait a minute, I have that dress.
but well, yeah, I mean, that used to be, back in the day. I mean, I started with Maurizio Custom Tailors in my 20s, a custom tailor on Fifth Avenue. We're talking the bench work, the guys from Italy. I mean, the real
Wow.
deal. Yeah. So I have that experience. I'm so fortunate for that. I know what that feels like, looks like, is, and to have something made for you, that's luxury.
Yeah.
Something is, and it doesn't have to be, this crazy amount of money.
Right.
No, it's a very wide price point. Um, but I'm working in the spirit of true luxury, I think.
Do you ever take, and just a thought, not asked you this before. Do you ever take maybe vintage pieces and pins, like say from someone's great grandmother,
I can't
and
believe you're talking about this. Yeah, the heirlooms.
do?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes, because I was thinking that would be so cool if she would take someone's great grandmother's pens and build it into a beautiful headband.
Wow, you are so on point. You are so intuitive. That is exactly number one thing that I love to do, because
Oh,
you're it's generational, right? And then it becomes a, I mean, they always can be, but it's even more meaningful. And you pass it down. We used to be passing down generational, pieces. This used to
right.
be really done. So yes, I have an emerald. I'm very thank you, Grandma, from her mother, an emerald and diamond brooch, very Art Deco, and I'm about to incorporate it. Yes,
Nice.
that to me is so.
It's when we were sitting at the dinner party at Elisa's house, and I sat next to Elvira. I kept looking at, she had a bracelet on that just, it's beautiful, but it was different. And it just kind of looped around her wrist, and it had two stones and kind of a break in the middle. And I said, that's really different the way it was kind of roped. And then she told me that those two stones came from her grandmother's earrings, I believe. And then she had the jeweler take some of the gold and make kind of a bangle. It was like a bangle and open in the middle where
Oh,
she could kind of slide her wrist. But yet the stones on the end were sentimental because they were her grandmother's stud earrings,
cool.
and she had it made into a bracelet. I just thought it was the coolest piece. I mean, I saw it. She was sitting right next to me. She had lots of other jewelry on, but that particular one just caught my eye.
I
And
actually remember it. Yeah.
yeah, and then she told me that, and I thought that would be so amazing. I would love to take something of my mom's and make it for my daughter.
Absolutely. And I've even done it with my husband's cufflinks and repurposed them because they're so
Nice.
beautiful, and he never wears them. I'm like, the waste not, want not. Come to mama.
Come to mama. That is amazing. So you went from all of this, and you still dance. So I don't want people to think that you still dance. So you actually have performed. Tell us some of the highlights, just highlight performances that you've
Oh,
done around the world. I know one in particular you were telling me about when we met. I think you went to India and you had performed
yes.
in India. Tell
Yes.
us some of those highlights of people that you've performed for that was just such a blessing for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I performed in India 2019 at a 15th century fort in Jodhpur, one of the world's most spectacular sites. It's a UNESCO site. It's spectacular. The backdrop is there aren't any words. You have to see photographs. There are photographs on my website because there
Yes.
just have to be. I was invited by the filmmaker Sarah Singh um, to perform in her event. She's an award-winning filmmaker and photographer. She is a genius at creating from the ground up
Wow.
a one-of-a-kind of event that really people are still talking about. I performed with a raga, live raga musician, and it was a dialogue. It was choreographed, but improv, like what
Yeah.
we're doing, and we played off one another. I was reimagining the peacock myth, if you will, and the peacocks are very big in India, very symbolic, most cultures. Um, so I did the costuming, which was multi-layered, and I used a vintage gown.
Wow.
that was extremely chiffony. So to perform, and the royal family was there, the princess was there, and dignitaries and ambassadors and the like. So it was no pressure.
Not at all. Just another day in the lights.
Yeah, right. They were so gracious and so, and the princess said to me afterwards at the dinner, it was the most exquisite interpretation of the peacock myth she had ever seen. Can you
Oh,
imagine?
no, like
I-
that's, yeah. I
yeah.
mean,
So
something I'm just sitting here thinking like how rewarding and how fulfilled you must be to have a dream from 12 years old, and you started at 8, but from 12 years old knowing this is where you're going to live to now, and
I,
had a studio and you incorporate your headpieces are beautiful and unique, and just it's incredible because I want women to understand that it doesn't matter where you are right now in your life.
it's
You
so
can
true.
fulfill a dream. Maybe not the ballerina dream. You may be way
Yeah,
past
yeah,
that, but
yeah.
you can still fulfill a dream. You can still start that business if you have this cool idea that you've never shared with anyone, and you may think it's crazy. It's probably not
If you
if
have the passion, absolutely go for it.
Exactly. And that's what it takes. I think it does take, well, I know it does. It takes passion because, I've been in the medical field, I told you, for 25 plus years. And for the last 15 years, I've been the business industry of it. And I will not work for an organization that does not have products or pharmaceuticals that I feel that are safe for the patient, because
Mm,
I'm not going to be very good at it, right? If I'm
right.
trying to persuade a hospital to sign a multi-million dollar agreement, or a physician to use a particular product, or to write a script for a particular drug that I don't believe in,
Yeah, of
because
course.
it's going to come across like I'm full of it. I mean,
Right.
really.
You're not going to be able to convince anyone.
I'm not going to be able to convince anyone because I'm not going to have any passion for it. Just like my husband and I are launching the CBD company finally, I think
Yes.
next week. I mean, it has just
Congratulations.
been,
Yeah.
look, I'm telling you, in Louisiana, I mean, they want everything but your
Arduous.
firstborn. It's just ridiculous. But we are so passionate about it because we know what it can do for people, and we know that it can take away pain, and we both suffer from physical pain. I have chronic back issues. He was a pro athlete, so he aches all
Mm,
over,
mm,
especially now he's 55. And so we know what it can do, and we want to share it. He's so passionate about it that
mm.
it'll be a success
Of
because
course.
he's so passionate about it, and he completely believes in it, right? And so I think whatever, ladies, that you're passionate in and you feel like could fill you up, maybe just try it on the side. Just
That's
do a
it.
little
Yeah, dip
side
your toe
business.
in. That's it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Dip your toe in.
write that book. Write that book that you've always wanted to write, or venture out and go on that trip that you've always wanted to go. I mean, we're starting to open up a little bit now with COVID, even with the variant. It is what it is. We have to live and go on with our lives.
Yeah,
But you
we
need to
do.
venture out and do your thing, and I'm so excited about you, Robin, because you just stayed on that path. How do you do that? How do you stay so focused all these years and continue to, even with that break? I mean, 8 years of not dancing, many people, I'm telling you, would have just hung up their ballerina shoes and said, I had my time, I did my dream, and we're done. But you're like, heck no,
Yeah.
and you just kept going. Where does that focus, where does that inspiration, empowerment come from?
Well, everything comes from God, right?
Yeah.
That's my number one answer.
Yeah.
But I will say that once again, I do give my father the credit for installing in me such a strong value system
Nice.
and a sense of discipline and the need to focus in order to accomplish something of meaning in this life. And he was such an example of that.
Wow.
He didn't have to say much, not that he ever did. He was a very, man of few words. And I admired him so much. Of course, I wanted him to be proud of me.
Yeah.
But it really, I do it for God. I do it for me. And I do mean that literally,
Right.
because I'm often in class or rehearsal, and I manage to pull something off immediately. Oh, I feel like I'm going to cry. Immediately, I give the credit. I say, "Thank you, God. I know I don't deserve to be this good. It's all because of you." I mean, it's you do deserve it. We know, we deserve His love, and you know what
Right.
I mean.
Right.
It's not because, wow, I'm just so naturally, fabulously talented. That's not how my mind is working. Everything is given to us. Everything is a gift, and certainly my talent as a dancer is a gift from God. That I know in every cell of my being.
Right.
How I keep going, I'm so grateful. And I know that word is tossed around a lot these days, but I feel it from my deepest place, for lack of another way to say it.
Yeah.
And every time, every day I show up and I can dance at that level. I just danced on Tuesday and I'm dancing with 22-year-olds and I'm dancing just as well. And they're like these whippersnappers. I'm like, thanks be to God. I don't know how this is happening, but I sure am happy about it. And of
Yeah.
course, that
And
fuels
well,
you.
what does the Bible say? Not lean into your own understanding. So you don't have to understand it. You just have to be it. And God is
That's
going
it.
to continue to bless you and give you the ability and the strength to continue to dance as long as He wants you to.
But that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Now, I do take care of my body. I do take care of this temple,
Oh,
right?
you're built like a brick house. Are you kidding me? Like I am like seriously, you are in such good shape. I mean, you would have to be. Maybe you give us a little peek because a lot of people think ballerinas don't ever eat. Is that true?
Oh, no, it can't. No, no. First of
Okay.
all, you wouldn't have the stamina to go on. You might for a little bit, but then either you'll get sick,
Right.
or no, you have to eat. You just can't, quote unquote, cheat. You can't, I don't snack. It's like, what is snacking? Like, there's no
Oh.
snacking, and no, but I had potato chips last night, but that was part of my dinner, right? So it's not cheating. It's not snacking.
It
Hilarious.
was part of
Um,
your dinner.
seriously, you have to be on some kind of, you have to pick your cheats, right? Pick your
Right.
poison.
Right.
And you have to be consistently good. Can you go off the rails like now and again? Of course, you're
Yeah.
not, you're human. But if you're an athlete, you have to have a system, and you have to keep on refining your system, right? Because as we
Right.
age, I'm certainly no expert, but I read extensively. I did actually go to nutrition school a million years ago, but no, dancers have to. All athletes have to eat extreme, high density nutrition.
Mm. So
And
do you do more proteins and less carbs?
yes, but I
Okay.
love bread. I mean, high quality, yummy bread. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. I eat bread. Am I eating a pizza every night? No. Do I
Right.
eat pizza? Yes.
Right.
I would say I have a piece of pizza, really high quality, maybe even once a week. Because if,
Right.
what happens if you deprive yourself on, you're just gonna go crazy at some point. So having a bite here, or half a slice, or half of this, a fourth of this, yeah. And I also think, just circling back to when we're talking about following our dream, or
Mm.
following that idea that we always wanted to start a business or start something. If
Mhm.
you The baby bite thing, it's like along the lines of, if you've wanted to start to meditate or even pray on a regular basis,
Mhm.
tell the mind, okay, I'm just going to meditate or pray for 1 minute.
Right.
What is your brain going to say? I don't have time for 1 minute. I mean, that's absurd,
Yeah.
right?
Um,
Your mind can't fight that. I mean, if you need
right.
to, you could say 30 seconds. I mean, whatever it takes. And
Right.
it's and starting a book. Okay, I'll write a sentence. Like, literally say, I'll write a sentence a day.
Right.
Right.
That's what I tell everybody. I mean, I actually have a course where I can show you how to write a book and publish it for free. And I tell people, if you don't know what to write about, just start writing. Just start
Yes.
with a journal. When my son died, I journaled for 7 years before Wake Up Call, a Mother's Grief Journey was ever published. are written into a book. And so, you have to start somewhere. And I preach this all the time, that journaling is very healthy. It's very therapeutic, because
Yes.
you get out all of these things that are in your head and in your body, and these emotions, whether it be anger or excitement or gratitude, whatever it is that you want to write about, you need to write.
Absolutely.
Journaling
Absolutely.
is important. I know Elise, I told her, I said, I'm going to send you my 30-day devotional and lifestyle workbook, because it's 30 days of prayer. And she was like, okay.
Oh, oh, bless Elise. Oh boy,
And
oh
I
boy.
sent it to her, but I don't know how many days of prayer she actually did. But she did tell me that she was super excited about it. And so I don't know. I'm actually going to text her when we get off, because I want to ask her, how far did you make it in my 30-day devotional of prayer?
Yes, really. I want to know too.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's one. But look, that when people are open, because the conversations I've had with her in the middle of cocktail parties, no one would believe it. God and all of that. And,
I know.
I'm not pushy. She brought it up. So,
I
you
know,
know,
I know. And you know what? That's the thing. It's like, I think that we just have to plant seeds as
yes,
Christians, and we have to plant seeds, and God will take over. God will take on that growth. And it may not be
yes,
your seed that causes them to grow, right? But it could be someone else's. And so it's an
absolutely.
abundance of those seeds, and then God will do their work. And I truly believe that people will know. I think that people will come to God, and they will give their life to Christ when they're ready. Um, we may run out of time before you do it, but here's the thing: that's not our job. Our job is to plant the seed, be there for someone, care for them, whether it's emotions, or let them know that, just send them a text, I'm thinking about you and I love you, and I ran across a prayer today and I thought about you. Whatever it is that you can do for
Mm.
someone, just plant that seed. Some people may give an offering to a particular organization, and when you do that, I always say, when I do that, I say, I'm planting a seed into this ministry with this particular offering. And I pray that it will touch someone. It's a seed that I'm planting. And then you go
It's
on. I mean,
beautiful.
how many times do we see people standing on the street corner with a sign? I don't know about in New York, but down here in the South, they're on the corner with a sign that says, we'll work for food. No, they won't. They don't want to work. They just want you to give them some money. But then again, who are we to, if you feel in your heart, I know this may be stupid, but for some reason, I feel like giving this guy the $5 that I have in my wallet. Then roll down your window and give him the $5.
Exactly.
Just give him the
Exactly.
$5. Who cares what he does with it? That's not your responsibility. Your
Perfectly put.
responsibility is to go with your feeling and your knowing, and giving them that $5, $1, whatever it is.
That perfectly put. That is it. It's not our job. At that point, it's in God's hands. And yes,
I want you to, because we've been chatting and I could chat with you forever, but we can't. I want you to tell everybody your headbands and where someone can reach you, if, or where they can actually see them. Where can they see them? On your website?
yes, I have many examples on my website.
Okay.
And exciting news.
Let's
I'm
hear it.
opening. Yeah, I'm
Let's hear
opening.
exciting news.
La 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 la. I'm opening a showroom this fall on Spring Street in New York.
No way.
Yes, I hope you're here for the christening.
When is it, Robin?
I haven't set a hard date because it needs painting. It needs a few, it needs a little love. Um, so to be announced. It certainly won't be in the next month. That's for
Right,
sure.
right, right.
Yeah, but the fall. Yes, in the fall.
Like October, November.
Realistically, yes. Maybe a soft opening at the end of September if everything
Right.
falls into place, which is a rarity, but one never knows. Maybe, but I'll have a series of soft openings, and when you're here, you have to come over. It's going to be just,
Well, I'll just, I
just
mean, I'll just come for that. I mean, I want to be able to come and watch you dance and do the opening all in one whammy.
well. That's it. Well, then we'll just have to make it happen.
That's right. And I'll bring that big man. He's
Please
really
do.
sweet. I know he probably made you crazy.
Oh, he's hilarious and
he
so sweet. He's a
he
teddy bear.
he just, like, he's so funny, and he's a mess. He is such a mess, but we travel together. We do everything together. And I don't think that he's ever been to New York.
Oh,
I don't
well, we have to
think,
change that.
I
We
don't
have to
think he's
change that.
ever been, other than the Southamptons where we just went. He hasn't been to the city. He has not
Oh
been
my
to
goodness.
the city.
Okay. Well, then we just got to take care of that.
Yeah, we have to
Yeah.
take care of that. Well, I
Yes.
love you so much. Tell everybody your website again. Tell everybody your website.
Okay. Yes. Very simple. Robincofer.com. So yeah, my name.com, ROBINCOFER.com.
And the headbands is called,
Crown by Robin Cofer.
I love it, Crown by Robin Cofer. And where can everybody find you on social media?
My handle is my name, Robin Cofer. I didn't put my middle name in there, which would have been much more, which would have been smarter because there are other people with my same name. But let's see, that's on the to-do list. I should link that on my website to make that easier
Yes.
for people, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We've been
Yes.
tinkering around with it.
And your
Thanks for that.
showroom is opening this fall. So I know you're
Yes.
going to be putting that on Instagram and letting everyone know. And you're going to be putting
Yes.
that on your website. So everyone
Yes.
can go back
I'm going
and
to start a new Instagram account. Yes. Oh, and I've been cast in another feature film, a Western, all female leads. So you better not come to town when I'm on set in God knows what country.
what?
Yeah.
So when does that start?
It's in pre-production now. We just signed on. I can't disclose, but
Yeah.
a costume designer, like to the mega stars of the world. So it's so exciting. He's such a love, and yet someone else. The answer is I do not know. It's more or less imminent because the wheels are really turning now.
Oh, that is so exciting. And look, I mean, it's just your career and your journey is amazing, absolutely amazing.
You
And
see, so it's never too late. This is the message we just have to reiterate to women. Continuously regenerate.
right.
You really can. The only limitations that really are the ones that we put on ourselves. Yes, life is hard and there are hurdles, and we all know this, but if you have one pointed focus and you believe in yourself and you surround yourself with the right kind of people, right, the right kind of birds, the right kind of flock, then all bets are off and you will succeed.
Yeah. And I mean, you just didn't give up. You were
Mm.
injured, you were in a car accident, you didn't dance for 8 years and you just didn't quit. You just kept going. And the perseverance and your faith and your will to continue to succeed is just incredible. It's such an inspiration to me. And I know it is to women that are listening to you because I just think you're so lovely. I really do.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
so blessed that I was able to meet you through another friend. I mean, just the way God
Yeah.
works, right?
I know. The best way to meet and the way he works is just, well, he's everything. So
Well,
yeah.
thank you, Robin. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing with everyone. And I
Thank you
hope you
so
have
much.
an amazing, blessed rest of the week and weekend. And I hope that filming goes wonderful and we're going to stay in touch. And I'm coming to see your showroom this fall. That's a promise.
Thank you so much.
Today's episode is sponsored by Silver Lining Wellness Company. That's right, folks. My husband and I have founded Silver Lining Wellness Company, and we are going to launch finally next week. You can go to silverliningwellnesscompany.com, put your email in, and you will receive a 10% discount code via email the week that we launch that you can use for 7 days. If you've ever suffered from anxiety, you have sleep issues, or pain, we've got you covered. We want you to sleep well, restore balance, and ease your discomfort. We are striving to earn your trust and loyalty by offering you the best CBD products and Delta 8 and help promote and support a realistic and balanced lifestyle for you. We want our customers to make informed decisions that can lead to an immediate positive impact on their lives. Go to silverliningwellnesscompany.com, put your email in. We are going to launch next week, and everyone that puts their email in advance is going to receive a code for 10% off all of your products for 7 days during our launch. Thank you for tuning in all the way through Real Girl Talk. Make sure you subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you happen to have iTunes, would you do me a huge favor and leave us a rating and review of the show? That's the way that we get this message out to more and more people around the world. And giving us a review and rating, something good is going to come back your way. Plus, I know you're the type of person that wants others to live their best lives. So can you copy this link, share it to your friends, share it on social media? Remember, people need to be inspired. They need to have tips. They need to have business ideas more than ever right now. And I know that you can help me on this mission. Thank you again so much. If you want to be a supporter of the show, go back to realgirltalkpodcast.com, click Be a Supporter. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for being a part of Real Girl Talk podcast. And until next week, keep your encouragement tank full, your faith in God, and create your beautiful life.